Russian hackers are ramping up their cyber espionage efforts, targeting logistics and technology companies involved in aid delivery to Ukraine. This shift is significant, as it underscores the ongoing conflict's digital dimension and the role of cyber attacks in modern warfare. Since 2022, a state-sponsored group known as APT-28, linked to Russia's military intelligence, has been conducting a series of attacks against Western entities. A recent advisory released on May 21, 2025, by multiple international agencies, highlights their tactics, techniques, and procedures. These include exploiting vulnerabilities in email services and VPNs to infiltrate networks and gather sensitive information from organizations in NATO member states and Ukraine. In this video, we'll explore the details of these cyber operations, the methods used by the attackers, and the implications for cybersecurity in the context of international aid efforts. If you find this update helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to InfoSec Now for the latest cybersecurity news. Your support really helps us continue building useful content for cybersecurity professionals. If you found this update helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to InfoSec Now for the latest cybersecurity news. Your support really helps us continue building useful content for cybersecurity professionals. The timeline of the cyber campaign against logistics entities reveals a complex and evolving strategy employed by Russian state-sponsored actors. Since its inception in 2022, the campaign has targeted a wide array of logistics and technology companies that play crucial roles in the delivery of aid to Ukraine. This effort reflects a broader trend of cyber operations increasingly intertwined with military objectives. APT-28, also known as Blue Delta or Fancy Bear, has utilized a diverse set of tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPs, to infiltrate networks. Initial access methods have included brute force attacks and sophisticated spear-phishing schemes, where fake login pages masquerade as legitimate government or cloud services to harvest user credentials. Such tactics indicate a high level of planning and resource allocation by the attackers, aiming to exploit common vulnerabilities in widely used software and infrastructure. The campaign's operational phase has been marked by extensive reconnaissance activities. Once inside the networks, the attackers focus on identifying key personnel responsible for logistics and transport coordination. The use of tools like PSExec and Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP, for lateral movement highlights the attacker's capability to navigate through compromised environments efficiently, allowing them to establish footholds across multiple entities. Moreover, the exfiltration of sensitive data has been a critical component of APT-28's strategy. By manipulating mailbox permissions, the attackers have set up sustained email collection mechanisms, enabling them to siphon off valuable information over extended periods. This capability not only jeopardizes the confidentiality of communications but also poses significant risks to the operational integrity of the targeted organizations. In addition to traditional cyber espionage tactics, the campaign has adapted to leverage emerging vulnerabilities, such as those found in popular webmail services and corporate VPNs. The exploitation of these weaknesses underscores the dynamic nature of the threat landscape, where attackers continually refine their approaches to maximize impact. As the conflict in Ukraine continues, the targeting of logistics entities has become increasingly pronounced. This shift reflects an understanding that disrupting supply chains and aid delivery can have strategic implications on the ground. The ongoing cyber campaign serves as a stark reminder of how digital warfare can complement traditional military operations, blurring the lines between cyber and kinetic engagements. The international response to these cyber threats has been characterized by growing collaboration among nations. Joint advisories issued by multiple countries signal a concerted effort to raise awareness and improve defenses against such state-sponsored cyber activities. The collective commitment to countering these threats underscores the importance of cybersecurity in safeguarding critical infrastructure and ensuring the effectiveness of humanitarian efforts in conflict zones. The ongoing cyber attacks on logistics entities involved in aid delivery to Ukraine have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond immediate operational disruptions. As these attacks intensify, they jeopardize the integrity of supply chains essential for humanitarian efforts, creating a ripple effect that can delay or even prevent life-saving assistance from reaching those in need. The compromise of email systems and the exploitation of vulnerabilities in widely used webmail services not only threaten sensitive information but also undermine trust in the digital communications that underpin international aid coordination. Moreover, the tactics employed by APT-28, such as spear-phishing and the manipulation of mailbox permissions, illustrate a sophisticated understanding of organizational structures within targeted companies. This has led to the potential for long-term surveillance and intelligence gathering, allowing attackers to monitor logistics operations and anticipate the movements of aid shipments. Such insights can be exploited to disrupt supply routes or create misinformation campaigns that further complicate the delivery of assistance. The implications for NATO member states are also significant. As the attackers focus on organizations within these countries, they threaten not only the logistics of aid but also the broader security landscape. The compromise of defense and transportation sectors can lead to vulnerabilities that may be exploited in other areas, potentially affecting national security. This interconnectedness highlights the necessity for enhanced cybersecurity measures and greater collaboration among nations to protect critical infrastructure. In addition, the psychological impact on organizations involved in aid delivery cannot be overlooked. The persistent threat of cyber espionage may lead to increased anxiety and caution among personnel, potentially affecting decision-making processes and responsiveness in crisis situations. This atmosphere of uncertainty could hinder the ability of these organizations to operate effectively, further complicating their critical missions. As the conflict in Ukraine continues to evolve, the role of cyber warfare in shaping the dynamics of aid logistics becomes increasingly evident. The need for robust cybersecurity frameworks and proactive measures to safeguard against such threats is paramount, as the stakes extend beyond individual organizations to the very fabric of international humanitarian efforts. As the cyber espionage campaign targeting Ukraine aid logistics evolves, several future implications warrant close monitoring. First, the persistent targeting of logistics and technology firms indicates an increasing reliance on cyber operations as a strategic tool in modern conflicts. This trend suggests that similar tactics may be employed against other nations or sectors, raising concerns about the security of global supply chains and critical infrastructure. Furthermore, the diverse methods of initial access utilized by APT28 highlight the need for organizations to enhance their cybersecurity posture. Companies must prioritize implementing robust security measures, such as multi-factor authentication and regular vulnerability assessments, to mitigate risks associated with spear-phishing and brute force attacks. The evolving tactics of these threat actors necessitate continuous training and awareness programs for employees to recognize potential cyber threats. Additionally, the implications of sustained email collection and manipulation of mailbox permissions pose serious risks to organizational integrity and confidentiality. Organizations must adopt stringent policies to monitor and control access to sensitive information, ensuring that only authorized personnel can interact with critical communications. The geopolitical landscape is also shifting, as the interplay between military objectives and cyber capabilities becomes more pronounced. As Western nations continue to support Ukraine, it is crucial to assess how these cyber operations may impact diplomatic relations and military strategies. The potential for escalation in cyber warfare could lead to retaliatory actions, both in cyberspace and in conventional military engagements. Finally, as the campaign expands, the targeting of internet-connected devices, such as surveillance cameras, raises ethical questions about privacy and the implications of monitoring aid logistics. Stakeholders must consider the balance between security and privacy, especially in conflict zones where humanitarian efforts are critical. In summary, the ongoing cyber espionage activities by APT28 underscore the need for heightened vigilance and proactive measures in cybersecurity, with far-reaching implications for international relations, organizational security, and ethical considerations in warfare. Monitoring these developments will be essential for understanding the future landscape of cyber threats and their impact on global stability. If you found this update helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to InfoSec Now for the latest cybersecurity news. Your support really helps us continue building useful content for cybersecurity professionals.